Umaya. Si alguien puede coger a Umaya. Okay, let's start. She will come. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Climate change adaptation is urgent, it's feasible, and the problem is that it's not easy. And it is certainly not easy for the hundreds of thousands of SMEs and micro SMEs that account for the vast majority of jobs that are created in the Mediterranean every year, and that are in fact the hope of the next generation, the hope of the Mediterranean youth. So today we're going to talk about small enterprises, not big ones, so they don't have money enough to hire fancy consultants to draft their climate change plan. They don't have specific departments. We're talking of very small one, sometimes as small as employing 10 people. And they simply are so busy in their day-to-day work trying to survive that they cannot even think about climate change. It's not possible for them. Still, yet, we know that there is no future without climate change adaptation for MSMEs. We know that there is no way out because customers of the future won't buy products or services from companies that have not integrated climate change and environment into their core values, into their business strategy. So today it's all about finding that magic formula between competitiveness and adapting to climate change and entering into the green world. So we said before, it's not easy, but the good point is that still it's feasible. What we need to solve the magic formula, the trick of the age for MSMEs, it's magicians, people who know how to make this trick real. And today with us we have an amazing set of speakers. I welcome you all on board. I'm sure that this is one of the best panel in this pavilion, which is already very good, but thank you very much all for coming. I would like to, well, of course, presenting myself. My name is Vincent Ernoux. I'm representing the ENI CBC Med program. You know, it is the biggest territorial cooperation program in the Mediterranean, also the most beautiful between us. It is based in the managing authority of this program is based in the region of Sardinia, and we have a branch office in Jordan and a branch office in Valencia. This is where I'm working. I would like to give special thanks to the Union for the Mediterranean for organizing this pavilion. It's amazing, out of this world to be here. It's so great. Thank you very much to my managing authority colleagues that make this possible. Without them, I would not be here, you would not be here. And thanks also to my team back there in Valencia and to the region of Valencia, regional government of Valencia, that on a daily basis really support us and fights for Mediterranean cooperation. And how could I forget? Of course, I will not forget to thank the Egyptian minister, the Egyptian government first, not only for making this COP27 possible, which is already an amazing achievement, but for the strong and very efficient support and collaboration that they have been bringing to our program since the start, back then in 2008, 2009, where we start building this beautiful program. Thank you very much for being so cooperative all along the time and still to be with us today. We would have the participation today, as indicated in the agenda, of the Minister of International Cooperation, Her Excellency Ms. Rania Al-Mashad. Unfortunately, she was not able to attend due to other commitments, but still we are very, very happy because we have with us today the assistant of the minister, which is Ms. Shariha Bakrit. Sorry for the pronunciation. And we are very much waiting to hear from you, so I leave you my place. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and I wish you a great Water Day and Gender Day. Actually, I'm honored to be here today among this great gathering, opening the Propelling SMEs and Businesses into a Green Future session, which reflects the long-standing partnership between the Arab Republic of Egypt and the European Union through the ENI CBC Mediterranean program, implementing different projects targeting sustainable development and economic growth. The ENI CBC Med program, implemented in 13 countries, is an important initiative to support sustainable development and help reduce disparities in the living standards on both shores of the Mediterranean, and is considered an important tool for people-to-people cooperation through interaction between the public sector, the private sector, and the civil society. Under the CBC program, active chambers in Egypt implemented around 55 projects since 2007. These projects are actually distinguishable by being innovative, fostering the transition to green and circular business models, connecting nature, research, and business creation, as well as supporting youth and women empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end, I'm confident that with the continuous partnership between the Mediterranean countries through the ENI CBC Med program, we will be able to achieve our common goals towards realizing a sustainable development and inclusive economic growth in different fields. And it will be a good opportunity to exchange experiences, create long-lasting partnerships way after this project ends, hence ensuring true sustainability of such projects. Thank you, and I wish you best of luck. Merci.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sherihan, and thank you also to be so efficient in the speech, because we know that we don't have much time today. But in very few words, you showed how well and how Egypt is permanently believing in our program and in the cooperation at Mediterranean level. So thank you very much. I'm now looking at our speakers. We have 5 speakers on site and 1 speaker online, which was not able to come. So there are the magicians that we need to solve the magic trick between competitiveness and entering the green world. It's not easy, but they have good examples. They have been able to make it in their organization, in their projects. So each one of them represent a key stakeholder at Mediterranean level, but they also represent one or several ENI CBC Med projects. We have 80 projects running so far. I take this opportunity to thank all of them, not only those who are there today, but all of them, those of you who are watching or not watching. Without projects, a program is nothing, so we really are very grateful to you. My first guest will be a very, very long time friend from the program. He will speak first also because he's a host. He's based in Alexandria when he's not traveling, which is not happening often. He is the Secretary General of the Confederation of Egyptian European Business Association. He's currently involved in 8 projects, ENI CBC Med projects at partner level. He's one of the biggest advocate that has the program in the Mediterranean. Please welcome Mr. Alaez, Dr. Ace. Up to you. Up to you.
So.
You will be better there.
Thank you, Vincent. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here with you today. And let me start answering the question in reverse. We as business community representatives, we don't see problems. To us, the green transition is a normal way of life, simply because we see garbage in the street, collecting it as a business opportunity. Electricity became very expensive, renewable energy became a business opportunity, and the list goes on. And with this vision, when our gang, maybe I'll correct something, he said eight projects, this is as SIBA, but we have 21 projects actually under my different hats, so we are the biggest chunk of Euromed's ENI CBC program. This besides regional projects. Here I have to thank the European Union for their support, and naturally ENI CBC and the Ministry of International Cooperation, who for the past decade has been instrumental in helping us to acquire all these projects to serve our members. But let me put things in perspective. Environmentalists see pollution going into the air, the water, the soil. We as business community, we see our money, our raw materials that we pay for, flowing because of bad technology, because of bad management, into the air, the water, and the soil. So what we do in all our projects is we try to do more for less, to do what we call eco-efficiency. And with this, it's so easy to sell to small micro enterprises rather than talking to the big companies who have CSR and the responsibility. So the message is totally different. But let me zoom now on ENI CBC. ENI CBC, in my opinion, and I've been working in the development field for quarter a century, maybe more, is the only demand-driven, reactive program that exists. Simply, we decide who our partners would be. So number one, you create the consortium. Number two, you decide what you want to do. Number three, you decide how you want to do it. They evaluate, they tell you, no, this is bad, this is not according to regulations, but we fight, and in the end, we get what we want. Because it's not what we want. We are mediators between the final beneficiaries, the community, and the project. And that's why maybe in Sherihan's message, she said, people to people. It's the only program that is really, truly people to people. When it comes to the projects, I will not talk about my projects because all of them have a huge environmental element, but in general, what we have within the ENI CBC, we have 24 business support projects, and all are geared towards green transition without exception. Even some of them are called green. So the name of the project is green something. And then you have 17 projects which are linking academia, coaching innovation, up to final commercialization. I have 4 of them where we're creating incubators, accelerators, supporting startups, giving grants to innovative ideas, and all of them are geared towards green transition. And actually we have with us Reem, who's a partner in InvestMed, one of these projects going in that direction. Then you have the projects that are geared directly, specifically towards green transition, which are the environmental ones, the renewable energy ones, and we have a couple of them that I believe are success stories because we made the roof of the Alexandria chamber a solar roof, the first chamber in the world, which is 100 years old now. And with the thousands and tens of thousands of business community who come and see it, they go back home, they ask, they become aware, and then they go back home and they start replicating it in their companies. So here is the most important thing in this CBC projects. It is the capitalization. We create pilots, but we have the tools and instruments to be able to replicate them at a larger scale, not only in our countries, in the partner countries. Normally we're 5 to 6 to 8 countries that are partners in the project. And all these projects manage to replicate. Today we're doing a tsunami going beyond the Mediterranean. I've been today in the African Pavilion presenting a number of these projects which are being replicated. And this time, before I close, I still got 2 more minutes, before this time they came with a nice innovation, which is what they call capitalization projects. We take previous projects that are successful and we start trying to promote them at a very wide scale. And through this, through the very small finance, it's not that small for international cooperation, that's baby finance, I know, but for us it's not bad finance. We managed to do a lot more. We started blending, linking our projects with regional projects, with bilateral projects. We invented what they call today Team Europe, which is the blending of the EU member state development organizations. We invented it a decade ago, where in all our activities, We take a small pilot idea, we sell it to EBRD, to EIB, then it grows. I'll close with one example. 3 of my graduates through ENI CBC are today major investors in Bimban, major solar power companies who are going into Africa. We have graduates through CBC projects such as Swivel, which most of you living in Egypt know, like Trella. We're talking about hundreds of $1 million worth of companies that started as small little kids participating in our projects. I'll close with that. Thank you.
So 22 projects, we still don't understand how or when do you sleep? We still don't. Okay. So very impressive, and we take out this message of the importance of blending, meaning mixing at different level to really have a deeper impact. Thank you very much, and for your ever lasting enthusiasm for the cooperation. We're good on time, so that's a good news. I put a lot of pressure to the speakers with time, so to them, the moderator, and also the time controller. Our second guest of today, he's a team leader of the communication and networking facility of MetWaves, which is part of the United Nations Environmental Program and the Mediterranean Action Plan, and also the Regional Activity Center for Sustainable Consumption and Production. Next time we have to invite you with a shorter name. You can stay there or come here. It's up to you. It's up to you. What do you prefer? It's better here, yeah.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Dear guests, participants, thank for inviting MetWaves, the UNEMAP Regional Activity Center for SCP at this conference. I'm glad to inform you that today with us there is our coordinator, Ms. Tatiana Ema. Please feel free to approach her. I encourage you to approach her and know more about this great initiative, which is the Barcelona Convention for the Protection of the Mediterranean. Thank you for inviting us to talk about our Switcher Support Program, which is our flagship strategy through which we are harnessing entrepreneurship and innovation to fuel circular economy and low carbon business model. This year, circular, I do not have my presentation, sorry, great. Thank you. So this year, Circularity Gap report states 70% of greenhouse gases emissions are generated by handling and extraction of material resources. Circular economy and sustainable production and consumption have the potential to avoid emission and to regenerate ecosystems. Circular societies have actually the opportunities to deliver equitable and fair socio-economic, if just transition mechanisms are co-created and co-governed, including citizens and community most vulnerable to the current environmental crisis. The Switcher Support Program is a holistic business development program fostering sustainable business models based on the interdependency between society, environment, and economy, which has received general support of ENI CBC Med since 2019. Thanks to these and other donors' funding, cross-border cooperation opportunities have been generated within more than 10 different Mediterranean countries. In 2015, we have started shaping and developing our own methodologies for sustainable business development. Since then, we have trained more than 400 regional experts in the Mediterranean, 50% of whom are women. We have contributed to the creation of a national coalition of business support organizations engaged with circular economy, clustering more than 100 entities. Sorry, and we have supported the launch of more than 300 green startups. ENI CBC Med granted MetWaves the opportunity to implement a number of actions, scaling up its Switcher Support Program and correlated impacts. The Switcher Support Program actually perfectly aligns to the modular approach of ENI CBC Med, reflecting the relevance of longer programming cycle, and of course better informing also our theory of change. Firstly, thanks to the standard projects, as they are called within the ENI-CBC Med architecture, we have increased service delivered to national and local business support organization, and we have improved our business ecosystem approach. Secondly, through the implementation of those so-called strategic projects, we have applied our methodologies focusing on industrial sectors with a high potential for emission reduction by a modal shift within production and consumption patterns. We are actually now targeting textile and fashion. We are analyzing hotspots along the value chain in the Mediterranean and identify opportunities via green business model. Thirdly, capitalization funding is of course adding evidence to the need to support circular economy business models, identifying and isolating best practices and promoting the Switcher program results policy uptake. The combination of this action has greatly supported our mandate and is of course contributing to the policy uptake of the Switcher support program results. The UNEP-led Barcelona Convention for the Protection of the Mediterranean indeed adopted during the last COP a key decision to support sustainable business model in the region, including a number of important regional measures spanning from technical assistance to access to finance to open innovation and market development. Those are three of our key example of projects implemented under ENI-CBC Med. GI Med is one of those standard projects where we have managed to pilot a number of activities, raising an important pipeline of youth and women-led startups. Here we can see one of our great example of startup is called Cumulus. It's a water tech startup which is on a mission to combat and reduce water scarcity in Tunisia with a unique technology to able to capture water particles from the air. The project GMED has supported this startup from the very early ideation, early stage, and of course takeoff of their operations. Thanks to the strategic projects, our organization boosted a number of business solutions and circular economy strategies to address environmental hotspots, as said, of the textile and fashion value chain. This Egyptian startup is called Green Fashion, is the winner of the first edition, of the WeMed Award, which is a flagship acknowledgement of the UNEMAP system, and they receive support to upcycle post-consumer textile waste. Applying, of course, circular economy, they are really good example of how value is retained and how, let's say, environmental externalities of the fast fashion industries are avoided thanks to circular economy and green business model. Finally, please meet Amani Hamdani. She's a young entrepreneur who recently joined our capitalization project as member of its advisory board, with the idea, of course, of integrating into the perspective of a capitalization project the needs and of course the impacts of young entrepreneurs. Capitalization, as said, is about isolating and identifying best practices and lessons learned that are produced within the business development industry or the business development projects, and of course leveling the field among public and private stakeholders and support organizations, so as to promote knowledge and key results in a strategic and cross-cutting way. Capitalization, of course, inform also donors programming and advocate for evidence-based policy. As you can see, our capitalization project is called Resets, Results Enabling Transition, and this illustrates how leverage points that can make the transition to circular economy more inclusive have to be worked in cooperation with donors, with wide and multi-level stakeholders, and of course with the beneficiaries of our program. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Alessandro, which is, by the way, is located in Barcelona, so the region just north of the region of Valencia. Thank you so much for sharing also faces on your PowerPoint, because we are a program that is especially proud to reach people and to reach organizations that really need the support, those people for which our contribution can make a real impact. So thank you very much for this. And of course, you were able to address circular economy in the 3 projects better than the program itself when we drafted it. So you were smarter than us. And also, I appreciate very much that you mentioned scaling up, because scaling up is clearly one of the objective for the next program for what we have done so far. The next speaker is online. She's Miss Jihan Boutiba. She's also a long friend of mine and a long friend of the program. She's the Secretary General of the, we lost her, but she's coming, Secretary General of the Union of Mediterranean Confederations of Enterprises. She's a partner in a project called MedWaste, and above all, she is the lead partner, lead beneficiary of a project called InvestMed, aimed at bringing support to the people, to the non-bankable people, or to all those people who have difficulties starting up their companies. Jihan, please, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Sorry. You don't have the problem of technique when you are attending on live, right?
You're right. Well, lucky
So,
here.
So thank you for inviting us, and I'm glad that the NICBC program is presented in margin of the COP as one of the most important program for the Mediterranean. And thanks to Vincent and the NICBC team for the continuous support and strong cooperation with all the partners in the project. And there is several projects we can see in the ground, in the social media. So they are doing a real impact. So just to present quickly, our organization present regional business support organization spread it through 24 employers organization in the country, in the Euro-Mediterranean region, with the heart of social partners and of course the private sector. And as my colleague Ale said, we are running our business support organization through this project since years, more than 17 years, with the heart of Med Alliance in the business community. So BusinessMed is partnering or managing more than 15 regional projects, mostly financed by the European Commission, with a major target, which is the SMEs with the multi-stakeholder approach. So we operate in the business community with a direct contact with the MSMEs. So we insist on the small also and medium enterprises in the regional Euro-Mediterranean. So we also operate in terms of dialogue, mainly social dialogue as employers organization, and also in terms of policy reform with the support of Union for Mediterranean, targeting and gathering all the multi-stakeholder. And the most important also to develop this regional integration, and at the core of our main important topic is the climate change, of course. So our network collaboration through the business support organization, university, local authorities, business association, think tanks, as well as trade union, governments, and of course our donors, made the projects internationalized and blended with other projects with our partners and representative in the Euro-Mediterranean sphere, and implements concrete action and tangible results. So this introduction is to stress the role and importance of the regional organization impacts on the regional spheres, and in terms of concrete action in the ground, to work hand in hand with no one left behind as an ecosystem with valuable network of value chain. So one of these multidimensional projects is the InvestMed project, co-financed by the NICBC Med program, with 7 partners from Lebanon, Spain, Italy, Egypt, Tunisia, and Greece, representing private sector, university, researchers, public sector. And we have 2 of our partners here today attending with you, which is SIBA and EMEA. So through InvestMed, we have worked in 3 major pillars: development of the Euro-Mediterranean IPR guide instrument. In this context, the project was able to develop a guide on IPR that includes all the best practices recoded in the different countries of the Euro-Mediterranean region. In addition, the project was able to set up different training with local and international experts on IPR that targeted through youth and women entrepreneurs from Egypt, Lebanon, and Tunisia. Also, we had trainings on sustainable development from youth and women entrepreneurs. That project has conducted 21 training cycles on sustainable business development in the green, blue, and creative and cultural industries. So over the past year, this activity has involved more than 300 entrepreneurs and future entrepreneurs from Egypt, Lebanon, and Tunisia. The next step is to embark 21 trainees carefully selected from the previous training program in mentoring and coaching session, as well as a summer school to help them turn their entrepreneurial ideas into a concrete business. And the best part was awarding sub-grants to startup, and this is the originality of the NICBC program, sub-granting startups, MSMEs through 38 sub-recipient and 3 business support organizations from Tunisia, Lebanon, and Egypt, with the criteria of youth and gender equality. So all the beneficiaries will be supported financially, grants going from 35K for BSOs to 20 for business for SMEs, and technically through a training program tailored to their specific needs. So in conclusion, the investment project aims to create a better environment for youth and women to take new, innovative and sustainable initiatives that contribute to meet the economic and environmental challenge of our century in our region. And I also leave the floor then to my colleague Cynthia from EMEA, who will give more details on capitalization. So thank you, Vincent. Hopefully I didn't take more than 6 minutes.
I guess not. So thank you very much, and sorry for the problem with the presentation. It's very tough to make a presentation when you know that we are not seeing it. So thank you very much for this. I'm inviting Ms. Cynthia Echave, which is a senior researcher at the Euro-Mediterranean Association of Economists, also based in Barcelona.
Thank you, Vincent. And following my colleague Zihen, that as she was explaining, the investment project, it's quite interesting. And I will just give you in a glance. Oh, yes. As Jihen was explaining, the pillars of the project are mainly these 4. So we are really boosting on the sustainable and creative economy, not only the green and energy projects, but also the creative and in the creative industries. So also how to encourage equity, equality, enhance competitiveness, and innovation. So based on these 4 main pillars, what we are addressing, the capitalization actions, what we want to do is to go beyond, of course, the replicability of these actions, but going beyond on how the project can create an impact on the region. So according to this and the activities that the project is doing, so we aim to do these 4 main actions, capitalization actions. 1, as Jihen was explaining, we launched a 21 cycle training program. So we want to enlarge this impact in order to see which are the policies that can enable other businesses and schools to continue and to introduce and mainstream really the sustainability into their programs. So this is one of the actions. The second one, it's how to enlarge the community. As Vincent was commenting, the project needs to have faces, needs to have this interaction among the young entrepreneurs, for example. So we launch a community building platform that we are driving different activities among that. Then we will have the IPR awareness campaign, also addressing to public bodies, because one of the issues that we have on the region is the formality and the weakness of certain activities, especially on job creation. So it's important to give the tools, give the resources to young entrepreneurs to have to create value and to preserve it and give added value through the IPR. So in that sense, we will at the end we have a final action dedicated to identify which other finance support further from the project they can enable. So for that, just to give you a glance, the platform that we have launched in the project has been delivered, and by the moment we have 153 members. Most of them have been the colleagues that participated in the training program, but now with the new sub-countries entrepreneurs that are launching and integrated into the project, we will enlarge. So of course, mainly it is the main nationalities of the people involved are from Lebanon, Tunisia, and Egypt, but also with a high percentage of women, and of more than the 70% are people under the 35 years. So the aim is to encourage this platform, and we wanted to expose today because it's interesting that not only from the investment community, but other partners that could be interested to join and reinforce and strengthen the network. So by the moment, we have been also addressing several seminars, not only to enlarge the knowledge on how they can build and they can integrate more properly concepts like circular economy, life cycle analysis, social innovation. So we have gathered during the whole year different external organizations of a high level, not only reputation, but with added value that they could also have a more close contact. So that's all for my side. So we hope that you also join to the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're all doing great with the time. I've been very strong on you with that. InvestMed, so both Jihan online and Cynthia, and of course the organization they represent, and the rest of partners. Thank you very much, because you are clearly a project that is reaching those small entrepreneurs that need our support, the support of the program. And you recently have selected those business ideas that you are going to support. I've seen them. They are quite impressive, coming from all countries and all sectors, and we are very much expecting the results and see them grow. Thank you very much. Next speakers, all speakers have come from a different country, well, except two from Barcelona. So now we move from Barcelona to Italy, and in particular to the region of Sardinia, so the same region as our managing authority, the University of Cagliari, and in particular the Center for Biodiversity and Conservation. With us today, Dr. Gianluigi Bacchetta is going to talk about a quite interesting project that has been able to take advantage of nature to innovate and to make products. So it's very interesting.
Please put. So, good afternoon. Many thanks to all, Vincent and NECBC MAD, our managing authority. We speak about plants, people, and possibility. So, the law of the 3P, and in particular our project named Bessemer Grape, financed by the European Union. And we support with this project a new startup transferring scientific and technological knowledge concerning the most suitable procedure for the valorization of wine byproducts. In this particular, we work with these byproducts, so-called pomades, are still an important source of bioactive compound that, thanks to the combination of green extraction and the procedure and the nanotechnology, can be transformed into innovative products. So we start with the scientific technological transfer, and our technology transfer model is mainly focused on the transfer of the research result directly to the new entrepreneurs involved in the project, avoiding intermediating steps. We set up a permanent living lab, theoretical and practical living lab, and the direct use of our laboratory. So the entrepreneurs are permanently hosted in our academic scientific laboratory. In parallel to the transfer of scientific knowledge, the new entrepreneurs will accompany on the path by dedicated and supporting creation idea, and in this case we work not only from the scientific point of view. So, given the limited nature of resources worldwide, a new effective solution aiming on reducing the energy disposal costs are needed to increase the sustainable manufacture of this health-promoting product. So the sustainability issues based on recycling natural byproduct and waste from agri-food chain. When lengthen the supply chain of grape by means or green extraction of bioactive from the pomace obtained during the wine production. And this approach ensures the reduction of the carbon footprint of this byproduct and improve the sustainable management waste. We valorize bioresources derived for the waste. We started the point, it's in our laboratory, open for the potential entrepreneurs. And we need to understand that, I don't know, it is a problem. So we support the creation of the new business idea with training, nursery for idea, team building, development of business idea, and the financial contribution. In this case, for the financial contribution, about 220,000 euro being distributed at the new entrepreneurs from the environmental friendly grape products as nutraceutical and our food supplement of different products such as grape pomace delivered flour, yogurt, enriched with grape pomace extracts, and the capsule and our syrup, but not only. So we use also other material for cosmeceutical purposes like toothpaste, mouthwash, oral spray, but also lipstick. In this case, we have here few examples of the entrepreneurs. In particular, we can see at the left Rem Zendin from Lebanon that elaborate a project and produce hair care products. At right, Joe Mereb from Lebanon too, that work in produce wine powder to many purposes. And in this other slide, two other team. At the left, an Italian team named Vitigna that elaborate grape pomace flour, and at right, Halima Kebi and Amal Trabelsi from Tunisia that trained to develop a startup for cosmetic and nutraceutical products. So, in conclusion, the problem of food waste by product has attracted considerable interest because it's associated not only with environmental pollution, but also with economic issue. So many agri-food byproducts can represent a valuable source of nutrient and bioactive. Best Made aim at sharing that knowledge and tool regarding the simplest method to reuse the agri-food waste and the byproduct. From Best Grade, about 20 business ideas are born, improving or to reinventing traditional ingredients or byproducts by giving them added value, facilitating their issue and the potential their efficacy. That's all. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Gianluigi. I forgot to mention that you are the director of this Center of Biodiversity and Conservation. Sorry. We have seen also those faces, and it's amazing how smart you were to see in wine waste something that tells nothing to us, not much to us. You were able to see innovation, business opportunities, and then come to business ideas for those people who really need this, and to see these products. I mean, what else can we ask? Thank you very much. And maybe a bit in line with this, because in project of Gianluigi, they use nature, and now with the next project, we also use something which is there, and maybe we don't see it as valuable, but it is. And I'm inviting now Miss Oumaya Marzouk. She is the Director for Circular Economy Projects at the Center for Studies and Expertise on Risk, Environment, Planning and Mobility, based in Marseille, in France, in the region of Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur. Please, Oumaya, and then we have a short round of very quick sessions to all of you, and then the graphic designer. Please, Oumaya.
Okay, it's both an honor and a pleasure to be here today with you in this prestigious and qualified attendance. In the Mediterranean basin, it's functioning? No? In the Mediterranean basin, the multiplication of construction and demolition operation in the context of demographic, economic, and urban growth has resulted in a significant production of construction and demolition waste. The recycling of this waste is therefore represent a real challenge with these territories wish to respond in order to conserve natural resources, reduce landfilling, decrease pressure on land use, and more globally preserve the future of next generation. France, Italy, Lebanon, and Tunisia have taken up the challenge to working together to establish a circular economy of construction and demolition waste with the support of European Union under the INIANI CBC-MED program coordinated by the CEREMA. The REMADE project aimed to take processes for recovering construction and demolition waste for sustainable road construction and maintenance. By connecting key players of the value chain of construction and demolition waste recycling. Because the solution will come from SMEs, we are creating links between them and research and innovation actors, technical centers, public authorities with the Ministry of Environment of Lebanon and Tunisia, representative of construction company, standardization player, and we are also involving the general public. We develop a unique collaborative e-platform that connects SMEs of construction and demolition waste recycling value chain called the REMADE community. This platform connects construction and demolition waste producers and transporters, recycled material suppliers and transporters, road contractors and road owners, collectivities, technical center, university, and experts. This e-platform is not only a digital space for sharing knowledge, job demand, and offer, it is also a marketplace. You can find a dynamic cartography that allows SMEs of the value chain to publish their information. This cartography is also connected to a smartphone app allowing citizens to become an active actor. They can take a picture, for example, of illegal dump and share it on REMADE community platform with collectors, transporters, and collectivities, so they can handle it. REMADE projects offer also a financial and technical support through sub-grants for construction and demolition recycling plants. We already selected a company in Lebanon with the support of the Lebanese Syndicate of Contractors, and we have here with us General Elia, who is the representative of the syndicate, and we will publish soon new offers. Because the initiation of this new market needs rules and economic framework to be implemented, REMADE is producing new guidelines, rules, standards, and economic models for SMEs. It is also transferring and adapting technologies and recycling processes throughout laboratory tests and experimental road to prove the concept. We have already selected a national road in Tunisia to construct this unique and experimental road in Africa. With the support of ministries in Lebanon and Tunisia, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Equipment and Housing, Ministry of Vocational Training and Employment, because this new market needs a real transversal approach. REMADE has already shared his results within more than 10 conferences international conferences, show, workshop for SMEs, collectivities, and academic. And we are doing training and technical visit for partners, has already been done in France, Italy, and Tunisia. And soon workshop for sharing and transferring knowledge to SMEs will be organized in Lebanon and Tunisia. That's how REMED is acting to implement circular economy for the green transition of SMEs in the Mediterranean. Thank you for your attention.
Umaya, thank you so much for coming and for sharing this project idea, which is so different to the others that we have. We have many projects on agri-food, textile, many traditional sector. We had never had something on construction. And to be smart enough also in this case to see an opportunity in construction waste, it seems to me like, well, it's kind of brilliant. So thank you very much. Well, we have a bit more than 10 minutes to go, so we're fine. I'm going to ask each of you to give me in 1 or 2 sentences. I know I promised 1 minute, but we're a bit out of time. What is for you the added value of cooperation in general, but also the added value of cooperation for the SMEs and for what we can do to help the SMEs enter into the green world? Really the added value of our program and Mediterranean cooperation. We'll start with Cynthia and go come here. Yeah, but
Okay.
you can stay there. Sure.
Yes. Now, okay. Okay, in a glance, I will say that the cooperation is essential because there are so many challenges to drive, and especially on the policy aspect. So every single topic that are talk in the panel requires the coordination of a policy framework in order to have a wider impact. So I think cooperation is important if we can drive a policy impact on the region.
Thank you very much. Yes. Oh, well, again, I would like to remark the same thing that Cynthia said. Cooperation is essential for a circular economy just transition. We need dialogue, we need coherence, we need synergies if we want this circular economy transition to happen in a way that is inclusive and, again, that can deliver fair and equitable social economics. But also the other way, including, let's say, communities, including synergies, in our case, including entrepreneurs. I take the chance to thank today Mohammad Sami, who is here with us. He's a real example of how cooperation can also work in the way around. Cairo Bike, a municipal project to install bike sharing in Cairo, is today counting on his support, CEO and founder of a startup called Go Bike. Thank you.
Thanks.
Our research activity is focused on the diversity of life. Life is for sharing, so cooperate is fundamental for us, and for that I think that the law of the 3P, plant, people and possibility, is the most important.
I can comment at the end.
Okay. First, we as business support organizations, we do 2 things: advocacy as well as provide services. So this type of cooperation, crossing the borders, maybe this was one thing that should have been highlighted, that we're crossing the borders with experience, with know-how. What successes that have been done on one side, we cross the border with it, and we manage to adapt it according to the local socio-economic cultural context, and then recross the border to our neighboring countries. The second thing, which in my opinion is the most important, is creating what I call the gang, which means partnerships that has been created over the past decades that continue for years. I have partners in this room who we started working together 15, 20 years ago, and we continue applying to your projects. Next week we're going to Sardinia, where we're creating the gangs meeting to create more projects to attack the next call. Thank you.
Okay. We are constructing bridges from the north and the south of the Mediterranean region. And with these bridges, we are transferring knowledge, and this is the cooperation. We are also, how to say it, our multiculturalism, we have different culture, and we have so different point of view, and this is give us the richness, give ideas, give different approach to address a problem. This is for me the added value of the cooperation, the different point of view to construct something.
Thank you very much, all of you. Let's not forget Jihan, she's there. So Jihan, for you, in one or two sentences, what is the added value of cooperation?
Thank you, Vincent. I think I already stressed the importance of the regional cooperation and the importance of the regional dialogue. So today, we must recognize that the Mediterranean countries share the same fate and the same destiny. Today, more than ever, after this several crisis. So having two shores in permanent exchange is the promise of a developed, complementary, and self-sufficient Mediterranean basin. So able to face the different challenges of our time. This is why we consider the NICBC program to be essential channel to achieve these objectives, since it promotes dialogue and regional collaboration with the Mediterranean area, particularly involving MSMEs and the importance of the private sector in the future of job creation. So we are therefore welcoming this type of initiative and looking forward to work with you, as I said, the continuity with the Interreg Med in order to continue to promote and work in this blending project for a resilient and more interconnected Mediterranean region.
Thank you so much, Jihan, and see you this week, in fact, in Barcelona, this time in presence.
Yes. Yes.
Well, bridges, capitalization, diversity, the gang, which is basically the partnership, another word for partnership. So no surprise to find these words. I asked this question because we are not a thematic program, but a cooperation program. So to us, cooperation is as much important as a reason, if not more, than what we achieve on the ground with the technical resource of cooperating and giving the opportunity to people to meet and to become friends, like many of you have become friends thanks to the program, and long-term partners. This is for us a very, very big added value. We have 4 minutes to go. Can I ask if Miss Tatiana Hema is still available? Yeah. But so we have the chance to have with us the coordinator of the United Nations Environmental Program, MAP. So I can give you 30 seconds. 30 seconds is not much, but you can address a word.
I was very much impressed on all projects that are being implemented. It's obvious that in Mediterranean, circular economy is no longer a dream, so it started to become a reality, and this is what we learned today from all of you. From our perspective as UNEP-MAP, we act at policy level, we interact with the policymakers, but we also have the Regional Activity Center, the MedWave, a Regional Activity Center for Sustainable Consumption Production, will also interact with business and is bringing new blood in our own work, becoming less bureaucratic, more action-oriented. So thank you very much for the great effort, and thank you to all of you for this contribution. And you have UNEP-MAP on your support all the time. It's really great what you have done. Thank you.
Not easy to say something consistent in 30 seconds, but you did it so great. Now we are going to give the floor to our graphic designer, which is online, and which she has been taking pictures of you. I hope you like, no, not picture, drawings, sorry. I hope you like the drawings. And please, Fanny, you can have a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Vincent. Well, I'm Fanny Didou, and for this event, NECBC Med program and its wonderful team gave me one mission, so to listen deeply to the conversation and capture the essence with visuals, key ideas, and drawings. So I'm going to put the time lapse on. Okay, good. So I would like to highlight maybe two main elements that came across the session today. First of all, so in order to decarbonate our economy and achieve net zero transition. We should encourage the innovative solutions which today exist in our region. Acknowledging this initiative, as we've seen today, projects are here to be able to scale them up. And this brings me also to my second point, scale them up. And to do so, the power of cooperation, working with all stakeholders is key, involving research, universities, public, local authorities. Last but not least, let's think in a holistic and systemic way at all levels as this visualization comes from also. Thanks a lot, and we will be sharing the drawing to all of you after the session.
Fanny, thank you so much. We are all more beautiful in the drawings than in the truth. It's a good one. And yeah, we're coming to the end of this event. I would like again to thank very much the Egyptian government representative today for being with us. Union for the Mediterranean, of course. This has been our third event during the COP27. We're so proud and so grateful to be with you. All the speakers on site, thanks for coming, and thank you so much for implementing our program and for making cooperation happen on a daily basis. Thank you also, Jihan, for being there online. I would like to finish by telling that as for the SMEs, where the future is tomorrow, because they have to enter into the green world, for you or for the ENI community, the future is also tomorrow, because tomorrow, meaning in the first semester, first months of 2023, we will launch the first call of proposals of the new program. We changed name. Now we are named Interreg NextMed. The future is very, very near, and plenty of new opportunities to collaborate all together and to bring cooperation and the support to the real people that really need it. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being here. Thanks, and see you soon.